Today we go to the small town of Grantsville, Utah, just about a 40-minute drive west of Salt Lake City. This small town sits between the Stansbury Mountains, the Ochre Mountains, and the Great Salt Lake. Normally a quiet place with a close community, one high school, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody else. On January 17th, 2020, it became the scene of the deadliest mass shooting in Utah since 2007, and the first homicide in Grantsville in almost 20 years.
The father now left without his wife and 3 children. The one who took their lives, a juvenile, police believe is part of their family.
This is the story of Colin Jeffrey Haynie, also known as CJ. On January 17th, 2020, Jeffrey had stayed home from school armed with a handgun waiting for his family members to return home for the day. The next several hours would be horrific. At around 1 p.m., his mother Consuelo and 12-year-old sister Milan were the first to arrive. They were met with multiple gunshots to the head, neck, and upper bodies, killing them both. The next to arrive home between 2 and 5 p.m. would be Jeffrey's 15-year-old sister Alexis, who would suffer the same fate as her mother and little sister, killed by multiple gunshot wounds as she entered the home returning from school. The last of the siblings to return home would be 14-year-old Matthew, who arrived at around 5:17 p.m. and was shot by Jeffrey just a single time in the head. Jeffrey did have an older brother as well named Danny, who was at Utah Valley University that day and fortunately did not come back to the house. This would be Jeffrey's only surviving sibling. At around 6:15 p.m., Colin Haynie, Jeffrey's father, arrived at the house, and when he entered, Jeffrey shot him 1 time in the leg. Colin was able to get a hold of Jeffrey, and the two wrestled over the gun. Jeffrey hit his father over the head with an unknown blunt object, but Colin was able to keep control of the gun still. He reportedly told his father at this point that his mother and siblings were dead inside the house. A family friend stopped by to drop something off, completely unaware of everything that had just happened over the last several hours. Colin asked the friend to give him and CJ a ride to the hospital. During the ride, Jeffrey confessed to killing his family members, and the friend called 911. While the father was being treated, the police came to the hospital and arrested Jeffrey. He was charged as an adult with 4 counts of aggravated murder and 5 counts of illegal discharge of a firearm.
The father, 50-year-old Colin Haynie, is alive, along with another son who lives away from the family while in college, and the juvenile taken into custody for shooting the Haynies.
As a minor, though, at the time of the murders, he could not be sentenced to death or life without parole. On July 19, 2022, Jeffrey pled guilty to the crimes and told investigators that he had intended on killing everyone inside the house except for himself, without giving any motives or reasons for what he had done. Haynie's attorney said in a statement that prosecutors agreed to let Jeffrey stay in the juvenile justice system until he was 25 years old. This will allow him access to education and mental health programs designed for younger people. His attorney also said Jeffrey has wanted to accept responsibility and that Jeffrey was a troubled teen and lacked certain abilities and resources. The local community held a candlelight vigil and put up yellow ribbons all around the town in memory of the victims. A funeral was held for the lost family members in 2020, where Jeffrey's remaining brother Danny Haynie said that his brother CJ Haynie was still loved and part of the family.